The match was over. The scoreboard read 6-2-6-2. Alex Eala had just delivered the most dominant performance of her grass court season, dismantling a player who had entered Berlin riding the biggest wave of confidence of her career. But what happened after the final point, when Donna Vekic walked to the net, when the camera zoomed in on her face, when she whispered something to the Filipina star that no microphone could catch, has become the most talked about moment of the Berlin Open. Not the winners, not the aces, a reaction so unexpected, so raw, so human, that it left the tennis world divided. What did Donna Vekic say to Alex Eala after their round of 32 clash, and why is her response being called everything from classy to controversial? Berlin, Germany, June 14, 2026, Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, pre-tournament press conference. The smile on Donna Vekic's face was genuine, perhaps even relieved. Just 24 hours earlier, the 29-year-old Croatian had accomplished something remarkable. After failing to qualify for the Queen's Club Championships, she had entered the main draw as a lucky loser, and then, improbably, she had won the whole thing, defeating Britain's Emma Raducanu 6-0-7-6 in the final. I think it proved to me that I still have the potential to win titles and face the best players in the world, Vekic had said after her victory, her voice carrying the weight of someone who had doubted herself. Honestly, I doubted it last year and in the first months of this season. She had worked hard to return to this level. She was incredibly proud of herself, her team, and the work they had done. The title was a massive confidence boost. She was streaking, she was confident, she believed she could extend her winning streak. Now, standing across the net at the Berlin Open, was a familiar face. Alex Eala and Vekic had met twice already this year, both times with the Filipina emerging victorious. Eala had drawn first blood at the ASB Classic in Auckland, rallying from a set-down to win 4-6-6-4-6-4. A week later at the Kuyong Classic exhibition, Eala had been even more dominant, sweeping the Croatians 6-3-6-4, but Vekic had reasons to believe this time would be different. She was now a champion again. Her grass court game was clicking, and the surface in Berlin was fast, rewarding aggressive players who took the ball early. The scene was set for a competitive battle. But what unfolded on center court was anything but competitive. Berlin, Germany, June 15, 2026, Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, post-match analysis. The final score, 6-2-6-2, told only part of the story. Behind that deceptively simple line of numbers lay a statistical masterpiece that left tennis analysts scrambling for superlatives. Let's start with the serve. Eala won an astonishing 78% of her first serve points, a number that would be impressive on any surface but was almost unheard of on grass, where returns skid low and holds are never guaranteed. She faced only one break point the entire match, and she erased it with a venomous ace down the tee, the kind of clutch serving that separates contenders from pretenders. The second serve was equally devastating. Eala's kick serve kicked higher than usual on the German grass, consistently pushing Vekic behind the baseline. The Croatian, who had just won a WTA 500 title as a lucky loser, looked uncomfortable from the opening game. The groundstroke battle was even more lopsided. The Filipina recorded 22 winners to Vekic's 9. She committed only 11 unforced errors, while forcing the Olympic silver medalist into 18. In high-octane exchanges of flat, aggressive groundstrokes, the kind of rallies that had defined Vekic's Queen's Club triumph, Eala simply overwhelmed her opponent. The first set lasted just 29 minutes. Eala dropped only 2 games. The second set was even more dominant, Eala racing to a 4-0 lead before Vekic finally held serve, a brief respite in an otherwise one-sided affair. What made this victory so significant? 3 things. First, the opponent, Vekic, was streaking. A former Wimbledon semi-finalist and Olympic silver medalist, she had won 6 consecutive matches on grass and was playing with the confidence of someone who had finally rediscovered her game. Second, the timing. Eala was coming off a tough round of 16 loss to her close friend Eva Jovic at Queen's Club, 6-2-6-2. A lesser player might have carried that disappointment into Berlin. Instead, Eala channeled it into her most dominant performance of the grass season. Third, the statement. Eala's victory extended her head-to-head record against Vekic to 3-0, with 2 wins in official WTA matches and 1 in exhibition play. She had now beaten the Croatian 3 times in 6 months, each victory more convincing than the last. After the match, Vekic was asked about the defeat. Her response was brief. She was too good today, the Croatian said, shaking her head. I had no answers. But her body language told a different story, and when she walked to the net for the traditional handshake, cameras captured something unexpected. Berlin, Germany, June 15, 2026, Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, Center Court. Post-match. The final point had been played. Eala's backhand winner had kissed the sideline, and Vekic's racket had dropped to her side. The scoreboard read 6-2, 6-2. The match was over. The Philippine flags in the stands waved furiously. The chants of Laban echoed across center court. Alex Eala raised her arms to the crowd, a small smile playing on her lips, the satisfaction of a job well done written across her face. But the cameras were not focused on the champion. They were focused on the woman walking toward the net. Donna Vekic's shoulders were slumped, her racket hung loosely in her hand. Her expression, which had been a mask of competitive fire just 70 minutes earlier, had shifted into something else entirely. She reached the net. Eala was waiting. The handshake began as usual, a brief touch of palms, a muttered, "Good match." But then, something unexpected happened. Vekic didn't let go immediately. She held Eala's hand for a moment longer than usual. She leaned in. She said something, words too quiet for the microphones to catch, too private for the world to hear. Eala's expression shifted, her smile faded. She nodded slowly, then placed her free hand on Vekic's shoulder. The embrace lasted only a second, but in that moment the cameras captured everything, the resignation on Vekic's face, the compassion on Eala's, the unspoken acknowledgement between two competitors that the scoreboard could not measure everything that mattered. Vekic turned and walked off the court. Eala watched her go. Then she raised her arms to the crowd again, and the chants of Laban resumed. What was said? The internet exploded within minutes. The hashtag Vekic reaction became trending almost immediately. Fans who had watched the match from around the world found themselves not debating the scoreline but the moment at the net. What did Vekic say to Eala? Lip readers offered their interpretations. Some claimed she had said, "You're too good, I couldn't do anything." Others insisted she had whispered, "This is your time now, go win the whole thing." A few speculated that she had simply said congratulations, but that her body language told a different story. Eala, when asked about the exchange in her post-match press conference, was characteristically discreet. Donna is a great competitor. She's been through a lot in her career. What she said to me at the net, that's between us, but I'll say this, she showed a lot of class. Vekic, for her part, declined to comment. Her team issued a brief statement after the match. Donna is focused on her recovery and preparing for Wimbledon. She has no further comment on the match. The silence only fueled the speculation. The viral clip. Within hours, the clip of the handshake had been viewed over 30 million times. Commentators analyzed every frame. Body language experts weighed in. Fans on both sides debated whether Vekic's reaction was gracious or bitter. One thing was certain, the moment had transcended the match itself. It was just a handshake, one tennis journalist tweeted, but it felt like so much more. Vekic looked like someone who had given everything and realized it wasn't enough. Eala looked like someone who understood. Another wrote, in an era of manufactured drama and social media feuds, a genuine moment of respect between competitors is rare. Whatever Vekic said to Eala, it was real. The debate raged on, but for Alex Eala, the moment was already in the past. She had a second-round match to prepare for, a showdown with world number 2 Elena Rybakina. The handshake would be forgotten, the victory would not. Berlin, Germany, Manila, Philippines, multiple locations, June 15, 2026, the day of the match. Within minutes of the viral handshake clip circulating, the tennis world had erupted. The hashtag Vekic reaction trended at number 1 in the Philippines, Croatia, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Fans who had watched Eala's dominant victory found themselves not debating the scoreline but the moment at the net. The whispered words, the extended handshake, the expression on Vekic's face that seemed to convey something far deeper than a simple acknowledgement of defeat. From Manila, a fan posted, Donna Vekic just lost 6-2-6-2. She had every right to be frustrated. Instead, she went to the net and showed respect. That's class, that's sportsmanship. Another wrote, the way she looked at Alex, it wasn't anger, it wasn't bitterness, it was something closer to admiration. She knew she had been beaten by a better player on the day. Croatian fans, proud of their Olympic silver medalist, offered their own perspective. Donna has been through so much. She doubted herself, she fought back, she won Queen's Club as a lucky loser, and when she lost today, she showed grace. That's our champion. Tennis journalists and analysts scrambled to interpret the moment. This is what sport should look like, two competitors who respect each other. Vekic didn't storm off, she didn't skip the handshake, she held on, she said something, whatever it was real. Another wrote, in an era of manufactured drama and social media feuds, genuine moments of sportsmanship are rare. Vekic's reaction at the net, whether it was resignation, respect, or something else entirely, felt authentic. That's why it went viral. Current and former players also offered their reactions. Venus Williams, who will partner with Eala in doubles at the Bad Hamburg Open, posted, "The handshake says everything." Donna Vekic showed class today. Respect. Coco Gauff, who had faced both players and had become one of Eala's closest friends on tour, tweeted, "Donna is a fighter. She's been through ups and downs. Seeing her react like that after a tough loss, it shows who she is." Class act. The WTA, as had become familiar, was asked for comment on the viral moment. They declined, but the silence no longer mattered. The moment had already taken on its own life. Berlin, Germany, June 16, 2026, the day after. The match is over, the handshake has been analyzed, the hashtags have trended and faded, but the question lingers, what now for Donna Vekic and Alex Eala? The head-to-head record is now 3-0 in favor of the Filipina, 2 official WTA matches, Auckland and Berlin, and 1 exhibition at the Kuyong Classic, each victory more convincing than the last. The first was a 3-set battle, the second was a straight sets exhibition win, the third was a demolition. The pattern is clear. Eala has figured something out about Vekic's game, something that the Croatian has not yet found an answer for. "She's a great player," Eala said after the match when asked about their growing rivalry. "She's been through a lot in her career, I have a lot of respect for her. But on the court, I'm focused on executing my game." Vekic, for her part, has not spoken publicly about the loss. Her team issued a brief statement. Donna is focused on her recovery and preparing for Wimbledon, but the silence only